and welcome to another Sprues and Brews painting stream. How are we doing, everyone? We've not been on for a couple of weeks, but we thought we'd come back painting some fun stuff. Gentlemen, what have we got on our tables today?
Hello, Matt. Hiya, Dave. I have been painting elves for as long as I can remember now, certainly all week. So I thought I would mix up a bit now and make a start on my Sisters of Battle Crusade army. So I'm painting a Sister of Battle Palatine. She's going to be the sort of Saint Potentia of my Crusade.
Excellent. How about you, Dave? What are you working on?
So I'm still working through my Kruleboyz at the moment. So I'll be working on a kill the boss on foot. I've done the main part of this duo, the Stabgrot, but his best mate needs to be finished painting. So that's what's on my table today.
Amazing. Cool. So is that the last model in the Kruleboyz then?
No, I still need to finish. If depending on how this guy goes, I've still got the Merc Knob. Still needs a bit of work to do on him. So I might get a bit of paint on him depending on how time goes.
Awesome, cool. Well, I am painting the Idoneth Deepkin. I've got the box to hand. I have indeed. The latest, and I think, if I'm right, the final Underworlds warband this season, Elthane Soul Raid, or as I like to call it, Start Collecting Crab. So yeah, I'm going to be working on these guys. Pretty freeform. I mean, I've got the pictures on the Games Workshop website here for reference, but yeah, I think I'll just go wild with some colours on these. Do something a bit colourful, mix up some different shades with some of the Instar paint. So that is the plan today. So yeah, I'm looking forward to painting these guys. I've managed to paint most of the Underworld warbands. Did you manage to paint the Bone Reapers, Dave?
I got them undercoated, but because I've had so much on my painting desk, I've not actually had a chance to get past that stage, unfortunately. And I'd like to say that the next on my painting list, but unfortunately, there's a guy called Kragnos. You might have heard of him.
He's a big
and also
deal. I
a whole
heard it's a
bunch
big
of
deal.
yeah, and I've also got a whole bunch of rats. So that I really want to get painted, so I can get using them in our Path to Glory, which I'm sure we'll talk about during this
Nice.
stream. So unfortunately, yes, they are in my painting list, but I haven't got around to them yet.
Have you got a plan then for your painting stuff, Dave?
Well, yes, I have. So I was actually talking to Jay a little bit earlier about this, but my plan was to paint Kragnos next. But as we've started our campaign, our Path to Glory campaign, I really want to get 600 points of Skaven painted, so we can use them on the stream and get some games under my belt. So I think this week my attention may switch to getting those done first. I'm sorry, Kragnos. I really want to paint you, but I also really want to get started on this Path to Glory campaign.
No, that makes sense. Otherwise, you're going to be chasing after the 600 points then, aren't you?
Exactly. And I'm going to be looking at painting probably about 32 models for the first 600 points. So
oh yeah,
a little bit to get going with.
Steve Harbour in the chat. Hello, how are you doing? Are we having a good
Hello.
weekend? This weekend seems to have gone very, very quickly. I don't know about you guys.
It really has.
It has, but I'm not so worried about that because it means we're one weekend closer to Dominion coming out.
This is true. I mean, we've been lucky enough to well, I say we've been looking. Me and Dave have been looking for paints on the models, but I guess you've not had a chance to even build any of them yet, have you, Jay?
No, I'm super excited. I'm actually super excited to pick up the models, certainly. Also, my brother is going to be getting back into Age of Sigmar, so I'm really happy about that with the Kruleboyz. But I'm really looking forward to reading through the rule book, the lore, because I haven't read the lore yet of the rule book. I've read the rules, but not the lore. That's what I'm most excited about at the moment.
Have you got the General's Handbook on your shopping list as well? That's a really good book.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Now we managed to have a game, didn't we, at the weekend, Jay?
The
first part of we did a Path to Glory battle with the Kruleboyz and the Stormcast, but that was more of a kind of a showcase of the models in the box, really, wasn't it? But this was the first part of our Thundia Talons of Thundia campaign. So we're doing a big Path to Glory campaign, I guess is the right word for it. And we're trying to feature as many different armies as we can with little 600 point forces and build them up. And the poor ogres were a little bit outmatched, I think, but we had a great time, didn't we?
It was awesome. So that was my first game of Age of Sigmar Third Edition, and it's brilliant. I really love the command abilities and heroic actions. Such a cool mechanic they've
Yeah.
introduced for Third Edition. I think my favourite things were the heroic recovery to really just keep your heroes on the battlefield. I mean, we've only played small games. We've certainly in the game we had one hero each, where you can only do one heroic action, can't you? With one hero in each hero phase. So if you've got multiple heroes, you may lose one or two against still, but it's so cool being able to just top up the wounds on a hero.
Yeah, I mean, their finest hour for both of us was pretty ineffectual. But then in the game with me and Dave, the finest hour was a really strong ability. So I think a valid tactic will be forcing some wounds on an important character to make them have the difficult decision of, do they use their finest hour in that key fight, or do they actually heal up the other guy because they might lose him?
Yeah,
And we got to see another one that we didn't see in the previous battle, the one that lets you unbind a spell as well. That
that
was
comes in very handy against the Lumineth.
it does, especially when you got no wizards. Unfortunately, I don't think he did too well on his roll, did he?
No. I was surprised. I mean, after the Sylvaneth battle we had a few weeks ago, where I just couldn't cast a spell to save my life, the Lumineth seemed to have a little problem casting spells, and I think I completed my quest. I had a quest, so in the Path to Glory, you choose a quest to go on in each. Well, not in each of your battles, but it's a quest you're working on towards to unlock extra glory, artifacts, spells,
Yeah.
things like that for your Path to. And mine was to try and find a spell, and to be successful in that quest, you had to cast 3 spells with a casting value of 8+, and I think I did that in my first turn.
You did, yeah.
That's how good my spell casting was that day.
Yeah. I think looking at the missions, I think you should easily be able to complete a quest each game that you play. Though I imagine we might have some harder ones for other cool stuff in the battle tomes. In 40k you've got quite a few what do they call them in 40k, where you can spend your requisition
Requisition.
points to up your, like, I don't know, get a new class of chaplain ability or something. I think stuff like that, rather than just being you spend the points to do it, they'll be tied into quests. So for example, if your, I don't know, general wanted to get a mount, there might be a quest where if he completes it, you then change him on the order of battle to have a mount. Obviously, you pay the points for it, but gives you a nice narrative element to it.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
I think that'd be
I
fun.
see Steve's painting some Adeptus Titanicus, Legio Magna. Who are Legio Magna?
Legio Magna, I don't know off the top of my head. Is that a traitor legion?
I've got the Adeptus Mechanicus bug at the moment. I have to say, I've been listening to Mortis, which is the latest Black Library book.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can tell from the title, there's quite a lot of Titan on Titan action in that book.
That sounds scandalous, Jay.
I know, and I even brought my Adeptus Titanicus models down last night to
Did you?
have a look at them. Yeah,
Amazing. Well, we were talking of, if we get a minute at some point, having a game of Adeptus Titanicus is a bit of a refresher, because I think it's been a while for both of us.
yeah, never played.
And then once we've done that, I absolutely want to play with it on the stream, because I think that'd be a nice visual one for the stream as well. Right, well, what are we in? We are 10 minutes into the stream. The orange is down on the fish, so that's cool. Let's get the base red down on this crab.
It's a goldfish.
Yeah, as a goldfish. Steve Harbour says, depends how you look at it.
They're not traitors. They're just misunderstood.
Loyalty is a point of view. What have you got on your desk there, Dave? Box of something.
Unfortunately, we were a few minutes late coming on the stream because I had a few things I needed to sort out, and in my haste, I forgot to bring up my palette pad. So this is a box of Blight Lord Terminators, or an empty box of Blight Lord Terminators that I'm just using as a bit of a palette map.
Okay, fair enough. It's ingenious, I guess.
It was two hand is what it was.
Amazing.
I can relate, Dave. I've used the backs of CD cases and things like this in the past.
Yeah, CD cases make a good palette. Right, crab. Are we thinking pure red or warm red?
Warm red, I
Yeah,
think.
I think that is a good base, and then we can blend from there. Let's go with warm red, pure warm red. Anonymous Rex as well. Hey guys, how's it going? We are doing fine and dandy. It is a wonderful Sunday. Back in work tomorrow, unfortunately. But we've managed to play some Warhammer. We've managed to paint some models. We're doing pretty well. I think between us, we've managed to hit quite a bit of painting this week, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've had a good
the
week.
hobby.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I need a paper clip because my nozzle's right. Now, what are your thoughts on dropper bottles? It does make it easier for filling up like airbrushes and stuff. However, they do tend to jam up, unfortunately. I don't know if you
Uh,
guys have used them much at all.
Never
No, I
used
don't.
one.
No, I don't use them.
So you can a trusty little paper clip to pierce the hole in it. On the plus side, there is less wastage than on like a GW style bottle. Sometimes it kind of collects, doesn't it, around the rim of the bottle. Okay, man.
Yes, he does. Yeah, I know.
That's better there. Right, so
It may get a bit noisy. I'm going into my bucket of paints.
you go into
I've
the
got them all
bucket of
lined out here.
paints.
I've got everything out, so I wouldn't need to do this. And then I've left the shade for flesh. But there it is, right at the top. Right, one flesh shade. There we go.
The trusty
Disappointing lack of noise.
I'm sorry about that, guys. I won't be so organised next week.
Favorite part of the stream is listening to the box of paints.
Bucket o' paint, surely.
Bucket
Bucket
yeah.
of paints.
There's 2 buckets of paints actually.
Double bucket. Excellent.
By the way, this week, guys, I was weak. Let me show you what I've ordered.
Oh,
I'm gonna switch over to your camera, J2 Sex. Let's have a look. What have we got?
You ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Ooh,
Hey.
Paragon war suits. Very nice. Did they all come yesterday then, Jay?
No, they came a few days back. No idea how I'm building them yet. I think I might go for a mix because I like all of the weapon options really. From a modelling point of view, they all look really cool. Definitely the flamer.
How do you think they take to magnets?
I'll have a look, Matt. Yeah, potentially. I've not opened them yet, so I don't know what. Yeah, that's a good point actually, because I think they've got 2 different weapon options on the shoulders, so you can give them storm bolters, I think, and Paragon grenade launchers. They get the sword and mace option on one arm, and then a heavy bolter, multi melter, and minister and heavy flamer.
Nice.
So they're quite a lot of variety actually in the loadout.
Really nice looking models.
They are. As soon as I saw these, I thought these were brilliant. So this unit is in my starting Crusade army.
Yeah, that's another point where, because obviously the focus has been on quite heavily on AOS, hasn't it, recently? But I think once the Dominion buzz has died down a little bit, we'll also be doing some 40k Crusade, won't we?
Yeah, well, I know Dave is keen to get some Imperial Guard going. The Adeptus, not Adeptus, are they? What are they? Astra
Militarum.
And then I know in a few weeks' time when the what they call Snagger Boys drop, I know you'll be quite excited to have a look at that box, because that's like a cool launch box, isn't it, with the new codex ahead of the.
It is, yeah. Now we don't know when it's out. I'm sure they said
July.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully not too long to wait for that, because we've got a quiet pre-order week this week, haven't we? I know you did the article. Dave.
Yeah, very, very quiet this week. But we've still got.
Oh, gone.
We've still got Dominion to come out next week.
Yeah, I mean the most exciting thing about that pre-order post was the fact that we've got another Warhammer preview. Now, if you watch the video on the article, it says it's a Dominion Day preview. Now, whether that's just because it is the launch day of Dominion, they might sneak in some 40k stuff in there. You know, the orcs really. We've seen the we've seen the Orc launch box, haven't we? So I think what we'd see after that release-wise is the Thousand Suns versus Grey
Oh yeah,
Knights
great.
battle box. So we might see what's in that box, and that will
Yeah,
also reveal whether some of the various rumours we've heard on the internet are true. Personally, I think they're bobbins because I've got a feeling it'll just be 2 new models in that box, with some older kits mixed in with them. It wouldn't surprise me as well if we see confirmation at least of the Heresy starter box. Obviously, we've seen leaked pictures, and Games Workshop are normally these days pretty quick to put an official reveal up, but
they are.
obviously they
Yeah,
don't want that
Hmm.
kind of thing to dissuade people from buying Dominion, do they?
No,
No,
absolutely not.
we may
No.
see it on like you say that the day after the minion goes up, we may see that box revealed.
Yeah. So that can't be too far off. I mean, it stuff like that in the past has been in the Black Friday slot though, hasn't it? So we might be a bit
Yeah,
far out for that, to be honest. And it's just somebody's managed to get some pictures early.
yeah.
Anonymous Rex says, "How's your Custom Crusade campaign How's your Custom Crusade campaign plan coming?" That's a tongue twister and a half, isn't it? So, if I'm perfectly honest, we've had some thoughts about doing it based around the what's the name of the crusade? The
Sabbath Crusade.
Sabbath Crusade. That's it. Yeah, and the Sabbath Worlds. Because really, all the forces that we've got would be represented. The Adeptus Sororitas. We've got some. See, I'm going to jump on board with the Orcs, but I've also got a load of Chaos Space Marines under my desk. And obviously, we know that we've got the Bellacore supplement for 40k coming as well. That lets you do mixed Demon and Chaos Space Marine armies. So
Yeah.
I think we might have briefly mentioned on the podcast. I'll probably do a mixed word bearers / demons list. And again, we were chatting about this from the kind of AOS point of view, with a mortal army, then add demons to it, and that's very much the way I'll go for the crusade. I think that's more fitting, isn't it? That this word bearers party starts making a bit of a name for itself, and then demonic forces start joining the army. So yeah, but yeah, really, it's going to be. I've been all about the AOS at the minute. I've been
Yeah,
painting
I
some Soulblight Gravelords. I've nearly done my 600 points of them. In fact, if I swing the camera over, you can see some of these guys now. So we've got some wolves, and we've got some bats, and yeah, I've really just got the vampire and the necromancer, who I've started. They've got some base colours down on them. They need a couple of more days' work, but then I'll have 600 points of Soulblight Gravelords ready for Path to Glory. So that's pretty exciting.
Ready to take into gear. Have you thought of a backstory for him yet?
No, I'm gonna concoct that once they're all painted. I had a name, but I'll keep that as a surprise until the article's up. One of the things we do want to do is, and I don't know if you've all seen the ogre one that's up on the website, but we want to create a bit of a page for each army where we can chronicle their successes. I need to put the one up for the battle actually. Once we've got the elves kind of history on there, I can then link in the how the battle's gone. And yeah, spoilers, the ogres didn't do too great, but it was a fun battle. I really like the missions. You said, I think while we were playing, Jay, they're quite different than what we've seen. With the two that we played aren't really objective based, are they?
No, that's it. I really like that. It feels like the battle feels more realistic. Not wrong word because it's playing Age of Sigmar. The objective ones can sometimes feel a bit abstract. You're moving pieces around the board to maximize how many points you're scoring each turn, and that can lead to some scenarios where it doesn't feel like you're so much playing a war game as more a sort of like board game or something.
Yeah, no, you're
Whereas,
spot on there. You're spot on there because you what's the word I'm looking for? You're arbitrarily moving things around to get objectives, but there's no narrative reason why you're fighting over those objectives, is
yeah,
there?
exactly, yeah.
Where in the games that we've played, there's been a very kind of story-based thread, and there's nothing to say that you can't concoct that with your match play missions. But I think the way the missions are written, I mean, it is meant to be narrative play, isn't it? And it does favour that.
Well, that was it. I mean, you were. I was laying an ambush for your ogre tribe, walking through some old battle site where one of an elven mage had fallen in a previous battle, and basically you scored by getting units into my territory and sort of breaking out of your territory and keeping them alive. So I was like moving spear elves to form um, like lines to keep you penned in and stop you from overrunning into my territory. And it felt like, I was actually using an army to, you know, prevent these ogres from getting any further into my territory. It was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of go against my my will as an ogre, where normally you smash in and kill things, but really it was in my favour to stay away from you, keep moving, because they've been ambushed, they haven't got the full strength, they're not going to be able to win against these elves head on, especially when they horrifically murdered my tyrant as well.
I was disappointed in your tyrant, Matt. I thought he was going to do the business and take out the Lord Regent.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw the pesky elf fluff his attacks, I was like, yes. Now the ogre's going to punch him in the face, and disappointing output.
It was a little bit. Now the problem is they've got the -1 to hit, which is really brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got a slaughter master now. They'll get stuff together. They've got this in the bag. We've got Daz More Wargaming in the chat as well. Hello, how you doing, Daz? If you had a good weekend, what are you working on at the moment? So yeah, we've all had a game or two of AOS 3. What's everyone's kind of initial thoughts? What do they like? What do they not like? Has it impacted the way you build an army? Now, obviously, we've not played any match play battles, but we will be doing some as well because me and Jay have got a tournament coming up in September. But what we're probably going to do is do that as part of our Path to Glory, Jay, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's easily done because we got what a minimum of 10 glory over a course of a couple of games. You can easily, if you wanted to, have 2,000 points worth of stuff ready to make a match play army out of.
Yeah.
So that'll be where it gets a bit, because the victory conditions are quite a bit different then, with you picking a unique objective each turn and an overarching one that's part of your army list.
Yeah.
I think there'll have to be a bit of thought put into that. So yeah, what about you, Dave? What are your thoughts on the edition so far from what we've played and what we've seen?
I think I agree with Jay's comments about the heroic actions. I think they're really good. I'm very much looking forward to doing the monstrous ones. We haven't seen those yet because in the two games we've not had any monsters. But if they're anything like, maybe game changing is a very kind of broad sort of thing to say, but the heroic actions do kind of feel like that, and I wonder if the monstrous ones will as well.
Yeah, it's I mean, it is hard to on paper they should be really, really good, and shutting down command abilities is a massive one for that, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It is.
Destroying faction terrain pieces. What else is there? Doing extra mortal wounds. That's probably the less impactful one. But yeah,
it helps. It helps if you're fighting hordes or something, and you just need to do more wounds. You just need to kind of fight your way out.
Yeah, I mean, I'd argue if you're fighting a horde, D3 mortal wounds isn't going to make a massive difference.
Isn't it D3 mortal wounds to another monster? I thought.
No. So you can have +1 to hit against another monster. Is the fourth one you can have. So yeah, and the difference with the monstrous abilities is that you can do, as long as you've got enough monsters, you can do each of those each turn, which is pretty cool. Obviously, with the heroic ones, you pick a hero to do it on, don't you? Right, let's get a small base brush. I'm using the new Games Workshop brushes today, and I have to say, I do rather like them.
Ditto, Matt. I love them. Absolutely fantastic. I'm using the medium layer brush at the moment. Brilliant.
They seem to hold their point a lot more.
They do, yeah. They absolutely do.
They're easier to clean, I'm finding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Although I am using a. It's so these are army painting brushes, and they have names like the character brush, detail brush, an insane detail brush, and there's one brush that goes beyond insane detail called the Psycho. Is the brush I'm using it at the moment to paint Sister of Battle eyes because they're even smaller than Space Marine lenses.
I heard a really good technique for painting the eyes the other day. Paint them first before you do the skin.
Yes, well, I put my base color down for the skin, and then I'm doing the eyes now, and then paint around them basically.
Yeah, I won't be doing that on these. I'll just use some wash to give the impression of some eyes.
Yeah, well, for me, rank and file I will, but this model is the leader of my Crusade army, so I do want to pay a bit more attention.
You've got to do her justice, haven't you?
Exactly. Yeah, she's a Saint Potentia after all.
We are allowing special characters in our Crusade, aren't we, Matt?
So well, I'm easy either way, but I think Jay really wanted to use his fox. So yeah, we are.
And the same goes with Crusade as well for 40k.
Yeah.
Only because
rules. There's no rules in the system against it. Obviously, they don't get experience and stuff.
No, only because I've got a box downstairs that I need to build for the guard that maybe is special characters. So.
Oh, who you got?
I might have Gaunt's Ghosts.
You
maybe.
might have Gaunt's Ghosts, maybe.
I may have Gaunt's Ghosts.
Oh yeah, Gaunt's Ghosts have to be included in the army. That's like
in
the law.
Sabbath Crusade army. Yeah.
We couldn't have them. Oh, I'm glad you got them. That's cool. I also picked up something the other day that I haven't told you guys yet. Let's see if I can.
What
get
is it with these secret?
We always seem to do it, and they always seem to come out on it. Let's see if we can do it without destroying the entire camera setup, leaning across the entire room. So you have to look on my camera there, but I might have picked up Kragnos, guys.
Kragnos.
So yeah, he's going to get built very soon. I think once I've done these Grave Lords, I might see. We've got Dominion out next Saturday, haven't we? So do I get the Stormcast up to 2,000 points? I think part of me says getting as many armies up to 600 points first sounds like a good plan. Like I do that the Kruleboyz side, get that done, and then make sure I've got 600 points done for all my factions, and then we can quite leisurely add to that then, can't we?
Yeah, I really wanted to do Kragnos next, but then I also really want to do the Skaven, so it was a tough one, but I think the Skaven have won it out.
The Skaven have won it out. So what's in your first 600 points for the Skaven, Dave?
I've got like various different lists, but I think the one I'm going for, and this is obviously based on the new points from General's Handbook, is a Grey Seer on foot.
Mm-hmm.
I've got his name written down somewhere. I'm really prepared for this stream, can't you tell? I had 20 Clan Rats, a Doom Wheel, and a Warp Lightning Cannon.
20 Clan Rats, a Doom Wheel, and a Warp Lightning Cannon. Nice.
So yeah, should be
competitive. Lightning Cannon.
Probably not. But fun, absolutely.
That's the thing. I think the thing to bear in mind is that your initial force isn't going to be competitive because it's only 600 points, and there's no requirements for battle line. You could drop the Storm Vermin and just have entirely Warp Lightning Cannons and Doom Wheels and stuff, Dave, and absolutely, have a valid 600 points, and then that means you can get them on the table quicker as well.
Yeah, could do that, but I think I want to do the first batch of Clan Rats. I think. Yeah. I think with contrast, it shouldn't be too bad.
Nah, it'll be quick. There's more Hobgrots in Dominion than you've got in that army you've just listed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm sure you'll nail it, Dave. And if not, you've got painted armies you could use for battles.
Well, I've got an oracle. I've actually got a post going on the website. Not tonight. Well, it'll be tomorrow now. Basically outlining my starting Path to Glory army for my Big War.
Oh, nice.
Led by Mega Boss. I've also got a unit of 5 Brutes in there. I've got a unit of 5 Ard Boys, and I got a unit of 10 Gut Rippers as well. For a bit of additional orc flavouring from the Kruleboyz.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Nice.
See, I hadn't done a Stormcast one just because, let's face it, in a couple of weeks we've got a new book out, so I thought no point doing one yet. But yeah, that's cool. Oh, they need to see the battlefield. What are you doing next Saturday, Dave? Are they going to see the battlefield maybe?
I think that's a date, Matt.
That's a date. That's a date.
That is a date.
Anonymous Rex says, if the new Imperial Guard Codex comes out, I hope they add a Penal Legions trait option where it could buff conscripts. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think we'll see lots of stuff like that, sub lists and fun things that you can do based on what your regiment does. Have you got any? I know you were coming up with some background for your guard, Dave. What's the main theme for them? Are you going kind of tank heavy, infantry heavy, or a bit of a mix of everything?
I think there's going to be a mix of everything. I like the idea of having like a tank company, but I actually quite like the idea of having quite a few guardsmen. I think from a slightly more competitive view, it will definitely be better for grabbing objectives and stuff. Yeah, I don't want to just go tanks. I think I do want a proper mixed guard army.
Proper mixed guard army. There you go. That's cool. I have often thought in the past of in the Forge World books that they brought out for the Death Korps Krieg. Obviously, the most famous is the Vrax campaign, where it was
Oh yeah,
essentially. I mean, that's essentially what my army is. It's siege Death Korps Krieg. So lots of mortars, lots of heroically dying in trenches. However, there was another supplement that Forge World brought out about the Death Korps Krieg, and it had very much a War of the Worlds vibe, as it was a Death Korps Krieg tank company versus Necrons, with a bit of a War of the Worlds kind of vibe with heat rays and stuff. And I've always thought, a Krieg tank company would be cool. I've got the really nice kind of trench environment Lehman Russ that they did with all the filters and trench
yeah.
rails and stuff, and it looks really, really good. But then I could use that as a command. Obviously, if you're talking doing an entire army of them, that's quite expensive because it's mostly resin from Forge World. But you could use that as your tank commander, and then use standard chassis
Lehman
Lehman
Russes, yeah.
Russes for your kind of your core, kind of the core of the army. And then because it's the Krieg, you'd have some basilisks and stuff in there as well. So that's
Yeah.
something I've toyed with in the past because I think that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, it would be fun. And in the spearhead detachment, you can capture objectives as well.
Exactly, yeah. It's gonna be done. Anonymous Rex says, I think most people had a hobby splurge last week. I picked up Dominion and a bunch of Lumineth. Ooh, Lumineth. What have you picked up?
Lumineth.
Jay will be very happy to know that you've got Lumineth.
Do you know the one takeaway? I've now finished watching your battle from Saturday.
Oh yeah.
The main takeaway from that is that, what was it called, Jay? Something light spell
Lambent Light.
that gives you all those rerolls. I mean, that is a really powerful spell. And then he said that it casts on a 5.
Yep.
What?
It's an easy spell to cast.
What?
It's a very strong spell. If you because the good thing about that spell is it affects it buffs your whole army basically, because you target an enemy unit and everyone rerolls their missile attacks against that one unit. So you've got Hurricane Wind Charge in your list, Sephiroth in your list, Sentinels in your list. Even the Mountain Spirits have ranged attacks that all rerolling against it. Yeah, it's a good spell.
It's okay, Matt. I've emailed the FAQ guys for you.
It did make me laugh before the game. You're like, oh, I don't know how the Lumineth will do against the ogres. It's only like one of the strongest armies in the game against the ogres.
Well, I thought if you'd charged them, because with them only having 10 models in the unit, and they've only got 1 wound each, no ward save, you charge them and do 3 mortal wounds or something. That you're really reducing the amount of attacks coming back against you. But the mission we're playing, you didn't really charge them, so they were okay.
No, I mean on a 12-inch charge on average, you're doing 2 mortal wounds.
Yeah, but I mean that's 2 less. That's 4 less attacks coming your way then.
Yeah, and then they fail to hit, and then they get stabbed. I think was my logic, but you live and learn.
I think once those ogre units, Matt, go up past 8, you'll be much more inclined to charge them into anything.
Yeah, that's it. Because they do it on the 4s then. So yeah, I think it was a tough matchup for the old ogres, but they'll get their revenge. Especially when they've got spellcasters to start shutting down some magic as well. Now, what colour? What colour should we do this eel? Lots of oranges, maybe a bluey kind of colour for the eel. Draymar, evening, gents. How are we doing? You're having a good weekend. Have you managed to play any AOS 3 yet? I think we should try a couple of. I know we've been doing the Path to Glory, but I think we need to try a couple of match play games, Jay, to get some practice in for the event as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
No,
I've
not.
not even written my list yet that I'm thinking about taking.
Maybe we should have a play. Maybe we should have a play with that. I'm thinking that kind of stuff we probably won't do on the stream for the kind of competitive stuff because we're going to focus on more on the fun stuff on the stream.
I don't want to
But
embarrass myself.
I'm sure you do better than me, Jay. But yeah, I think we'd be. I'm torn onto what to take to the tournament. I vampires maybe, Sons of Bahamut maybe, demons of
I,
some flavour. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
you've got a lot of choices, I think, and I mean, I think as well, a lot of your army lists have potentially seen a lot of good improvements in third edition. The Sons of Behemoth, for example. You could take a Sons of Behemoth army with Kragnos potentially.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That you'd get off the top of my head. I'd have to work it out, but yeah, I'm fairly certain you can get. How much is he? 600 and something points, Kragnos.
You went down a little bit, I believe.
Yeah,
did.
on average, the other ones are about 500 points each. So you'd probably have to take two of them, a man crusher, man eater, man crusher. I can't remember what they're called now. The little giants and Kragnos you could probably fit in, and that'd be pretty good, I think, because I mean Kragnos was really good anyway. He's, if anything, only got better in the new edition, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
heroic actions and stuff.
Dusting off my 2 free guild griffins, thinking about getting a battle mage on griffin. Yeah, you have got to absolutely do that because your empire army is. I don't know what the points are like, but you might have lots of options now. Obviously, the reinforcements probably affects the free guild Cities of Sigmar quite a bit
Yeah,
because
but
you're
it
not going to be able
does.
to max out everything, are you? But yeah, stuff like those griffins with stuff on them, they'll be really good now. Yeah, and obviously a big part of it's going to be which of the objectives that you go for as well as your overarching one, and you're making sure that you can achieve missions each turn. So list building is going to be quite different. And you're absolutely going to want to take monsters as well, just because the 2021 mission pack revolves so heavily around monsters.
Yeah.
I think really you want to try and max out your Behemoth slots, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Obviously, while playing with the points to make sure you've got everything else that you need as well. So you're not going to be able to take everything that you want, are you?
It certainly makes that like the all Terrorgeist army in Soulblight Gravelords look good.
Oh, it makes that look
Ogres,
absolutely terrifying.
yeah,
Ogre Beastclaw Raiders, yeah, that would do really well.
yeah, the Ogre one, yeah. Even
Right.
Sylvaneth, I think, looked pretty good in this edition.
So Tree Lords have the Behemoth keyword, the monster keyword, don't they?
They do, and the Tree Lord Ancient has the hero and the Durfu. Whew.
Durthu is hero and monster, and he's not
Yeah,
unique.
and he's
Yeah,
not unique.
I've got a feeling he's going to be very, very good in this edition. Yeah, that'd be quite terrifying, actually.
Multiple Durfus.
Yeah, it always struck me as odd that he isn't like a unique character.
Yeah,
But it's
he's
not
actually a
Durthu
spirit
himself,
of
is it?
Durfu. No, it's the spirit. I always think of them like the avatars of Cain for the Eldar.
Yeah.
Like a spirit split into
He can't be very
lots of fragments.
happy, can he, since the world that
No.
was. I mean, I don't blame him. Though I guess if the forest is back, maybe he chills out a little bit.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Oh, this crab's so cool. I hope we get units of crabs, or crab riders, or some kind of giant Behemoth siege crab.
Do you
Or a
think?
siege crab. Oh my gosh, that'd be so good.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? I'll be very disappointed if there's no crustaceans in the new Idoneth Battle Tome when it comes out.
Do you think if there wasn't, the second like the internet blew up over that crab, the design team looked at each other and went, "Let's make this happen." At some point in the future, let's make this happen.
Yeah. Sad thing with that though, it's stuff's like 3 or 4 years down the pipeline, isn't it?
They've just
Yeah.
pushed the book by now. Redesign.
Yeah.
Not enough crabs.
Not enough crabs. Yeah. That'll be our one-line review of the book when it comes out. Not enough crabs.
Yeah.
Try harder. Cool. Well, I think we've got a lot of the base colours down on these now. Rattling through these today. How are you gents getting on?
Just working on the face of the Sister of Battle before I move on to the red robes. And interestingly, I'm going to do the black armor last so I can touch it up on this one.
Oh yeah, good call. Right, let's go another orange on this one.
Sisters are such a cool army. I really like your Sisters army as well, Matt.
The Argent Shroud they are.
Mm.
Ooh. Draymar says a Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster is on my watch list too. Yeah, I've thought it's Khorne as well. Who was I fighting with, Tim? Was it I think I was using my Archeon list, wasn't I? Against your Khorne army. Yeah. I've been looking at doing a Khorne Path to Glory army maybe next. Maybe if we do a battle on Saturday, Dave, I might use them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Khorne Mortals.
Versus Big War Oryx.
Yeah. They both like smashing things in the face. If I can get the
Absolutely.
vampires done by then, they might hit the battlefield. But yeah, we'll see.
No range, no shooting, Matt. No spells, just
Yeah,
combat.
no messing around on either side there.
Game will be over in 10 minutes.
Anonymous Rex has a great shout with Crab Chariot.
Crab Chariot.
Oh, yeah.
Crabiot, if you will.
Hey.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So I'm just building up this orange on the fish because I want these to be quite vibrant. I did my Idoneth army predominantly with contrast. We did it as part of the contrast challenge that we did. I mean, that's a couple of years ago now. It only feels like 5 minutes, doesn't it?
It was.
Yeah, wasn't that summer
ago.
2019?
Possibly, yeah. I forget. What did you do? Was it Oryx for you, Dave, on that one?
That was when I started my love for greenskins. Yeah, I did my start collecting Iron Jaws and expanded from there.
Crazy. Yes, that must be a fair few years now. You did Lizardmen, Jay, and I really like them Lizardmen. I thought they looked really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed painting them.
I really like that new Lord Croak. It's such a nice model.
Yeah, he is.
Anyone been tempted to pick him up? I think the thing with the Lizardmen, I think you said exactly the same a while ago, Jay. Them Saurus warriors are just not good anymore, are they?
No, and that's the problem. I know I would pick Croak up. I love the dinosaurs. I love the skinks. But I'd love to do Saurus Temple Guard and Saurus Warriors, Croxagore. They need new models for those guys. I don't know why they've not done them yet. I mean, look at the Blood Bowl stuff. The Underworlds team, Warband. They've got some awesome Saurus sculpts, but
Yeah, I mean the Soulblight Gravelords release has given people hope though, because they redid all the core units, which were getting really dated, and they don't often do that because realistically, you're more likely to sell a new kit, aren't you? Where a lot of existing players have already got all the zombies and skeletons they could ever need. But that's how you capture the new players, isn't it?
yeah.
You know, new Saurus in the style of all the. I haven't got any to hand. Like the Underworlds team is really nice. Anonymous Rex has the same issues with Slaves to Darkness. Yeah, exactly. Now we saw the kind of push fit start collecting that they did with new Chaos Knights and new Chaos Warriors. It wouldn't surprise me if we get multi-part versions of those at some point.
Yeah.
So whether this edition is the edition of here's some really old kits that we're updating.
I think with Chaos having sort of won the day, surely should get some new Chaos Warriors.
But this is the thing. Would you rather new Chaos Warriors or new invented unmarked demon for Be'lakor? And that's where it gets difficult, isn't it? Because arguably, I'd say I'd want the new demons because everybody's got Chaos Warriors.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I would like to see some Chaos Chosen though.
Yeah, yeah.
Some really cool Chaos Chosen. I mean, look at what they did to the Blood Knights.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what they could do? They can do a lot of stuff with dual kits now as well. You could have a kit that does warriors or chosen, maybe.
Yeah,
But
That's
yeah,
good.
they do need a bit of a an update, don't they? Unfortunately, and I think see, I'm tempted to do a Beast of Chaos army. Yes, they may be fairly rubbish. Yes, they may be fairly dated, but we haven't got them represented within the Sprues and Brews armies, have we? And looking at the models, they're not actually too bad. They're not actually too bad.
Well, you can take Zangors and stuff, can't you? They're really cool.
Yeah, but if I'm
You could
taking
take your
Zangors,
Slangors, Matt.
if I'm taking Zangors, I may as well make a Zinch army.
Well, you
I
could
have a
part of
feeling
the army.
that I'll be getting a book soon myself.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. And same with the skeletons and stuff. If they did do a new gore kit, for example, it's not too bad to have a couple of the old ones just to have for their summons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I might pick up a start collecting Beasts of
Hey,
Chaos. I've got
bit
a
of a head start.
Chimera. I've got a Chimera, and I really like the box that they put out for Broken Realms with the you get the big monster and you get 6 Minotaurs in it. I might pick up one of them as well. Those Minotaurs are a bit Marmite, but
I like the Minotaurs. I like the Minotaurs and the big Doom Bull.
they're a bit
Doom Bull's
roided.
ace,
The Doom Bull is
yeah.
ace. They're a bit roided up. And now a
Yes, they are.
Doom Bull, I imagine if they got a new book, they would absolutely get a plastic Doom Bull because it's an old resin model now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I might have a play because I do have a soft spot for the Beast of Chaos, and I've got pretty much. In fact, I've got apart discounting Skaven, who I'm not fully embracing into the Chaos Pantheon, if I'm perfectly honest. Apart from them, I've got every other Chaos army. So I feel
You're gonna regret those words, Matt.
and
Regret those words.
I feel I've got to represent the Beastmen.
We were talking about armies earlier on, and I was saying today I'm fully feeling like fleshing out destruction for me. You know, building up a big unit of ogres, and I wouldn't even discount Gloomspite Gits at some point in the future. Not anytime soon. Way too much to be painting at the moment. But yeah, it'd be. I don't know if it's because I've been painting the pot grot and the stab grot. I don't know how I'd get on with a mass amount of grots, but potentially.
Grace here says, "What?" I guess that's in relation to me discounting the Skaven from the Chaos Pantheon. Don't get me wrong. I have had a Skaven army in the past.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I had
No way.
I think it might have been before I knew you guys, but I had a Skaven army. I think it was a Warhammer Fantasy Skaven army. Yeah. I've painted Doom Wheels, I've painted Screaming Bells, I booked a week off to paint those Skaven, Dave.
Maybe I should have done that.
Yeah. So I like the Skaven, they're cool. I just don't see them as part of the big four.
Well, now Slanesh is back as well.
Well, technically Slaanesh isn't back though. This is one of the things that we got wrong initially. The twins are a distinct different entity to Slaanesh. They are its offspring.
Yeah. It's all right. Tyrion will sort them out when he arrives.
Tyrion will sort them out. I'm going in now with Grey Knight Steel. Don't know if either of you have used these paints before, but it is a perfect colour for Idoneth Deepkin.
I like Grey Knight Steel. I like the new silver metallic range. I'm just used actually. Iron Hand Steel. I think there's one Iron Warriors and the Grey Knight Steel as well.
I picked up one of each of those paints plus Mechanica Standard Grey the other day, Jane, local Games Workshop.
Oh yeah.
They are really, really nice metallics. I use the Instar stuff for a lot of stuff. Mixing colours dead easy. But those new Games Workshop metallics are so good. I think Games Workshop have always done some pretty good metallic colours, but the new range of them is the best they've done. I really like the darker. Is it Iron Hands, the slightly darker one?
I
I always get mixed
no,
up.
Iron
One's a
Hands
shade
is the
lighter and
lighter
one's a
one.
shade darker, isn't it?
I've got it on here. I dug it out. Yeah, it's Iron Warrior, I think, is the darker one. Yeah, I've not got it up here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's my go-to. Whichever with the dark one is my go-to now for metallics. Do that and then wash it with Basilicarum Grey.
Mm.
Looks amazing. Really nice, worn, dark metal. Now you weren't keen on my washing with Basilicarum Grey, were you, Dave?
I did try it, but it didn't really work for me. Maybe I didn't do it right, but no, it didn't quite work for me.
Yeah, with the contrast over colours, which is my kind of like super quick painting method now. You're not flooding it like with a wash. It's just kind of like tinting the colour to change
Yeah,
like the properties. Looks
yeah.
so good. Because then it still retains its, it pulls back from the edges, so you've still got like a highlight created, and then just dry brush over that, and it looks amazing. That's pretty much what I did on these guys. So started off with a black, dry brushed up greys, got a bit of contrast in there to add a bit of definition. Took no time at all to do 10 of these. Plus the bats follow the same principles as well. And I'm really happy with how these turned out.
Yeah, I love those bats.
Yeah, the Bats Race. But the wolves are cool as well.
Cheers. Like I said, I could have done them in whites, but they take a lot longer. The idea was speed on these. Big brush, wax and paint down, job done. Which is going to be my plan on the Kruleboyz as well. I reckon I could get them done in a day or two.
Much quicker than I.
Oh, you could get them done that quick too, Dave. I think big brush and confident with the brush, and then fix any mistakes later on. I think if you try and be neat with the base coat, it will take a load of time, and then inevitably you'll miss a piece or get over a piece and have to tidy it up anyway. So in my experience, rapid fire the base one and then worry about neatening things up later on. But everyone's got
yeah,
different painting styles, haven't they?
yeah, I have really enjoyed painting them. I think you'll really enjoy painting them as well, Matt. There's actually a lot of hidden details on there that you don't realise until you come to put the paint on.
Hidden details. Do. That sounds mysterious.
Mysterious, ruddy mysterious.
My brother will be painting them up as well. He's got he uses a lot of contrast nowadays as well. He's got an interesting painting technique, I think. So I think he's going to do a good job with them.
He's got he uses a lot of rattle cans to get different transitions
He
and
does,
stuff.
yeah.
I think I think your brother would suit an airbrush as well.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, he does paint a lot of non-Warhammer stuff for board games and things like that too. So
Yeah. Now I'm really excited. Everyone in the chat, have you ordered Dominion? What are you painting first from your Dominion sets? Yeah, I really enjoyed painting the Stormcast, and I've got a feeling that I know I said I'm gonna get 600 points of all the armies done, but I might just crack on and get 2,000 points of Stormcast done because they're another contender for the tournament that we're going to in September. Again, the only thing putting me off on that is really I might wait until the Codex, the Battle Tome's out, just so I've got a few other kits as well as the Dominion stuff, and I can see if anything's changed or if there's any. I wouldn't want to build something that'd be maybe not the best option.
Could we hear about a Stormcast and Orc book on Saturday?
I'd put money on it, Dave, because the books are probably a couple of weeks out.
Cool.
It wouldn't surprise me if they're on the preview and then on the Sunday it's like next week it's Stormcast and Kruleboyz.
Fingers crossed.
So yeah, obviously we've got quite a bit of stuff to come out that we know about. We've got the Aeronautica game as well. That's presumably next month as well, as are the Orcs. So And Wave 2 of the Sisters, we haven't seen either, have we, Jay?
Oh yeah, the Castigator and the is it the Auto Standard?
Yeah.
I can't remember what else is coming out that we've not seen.
Start Collecting, Combat
Start
Patrol, whatever it's
collecting, yeah.
called. So yeah, so I think that really covers July releases, doesn't it?
COVID, eh? Disrupting the warp.
Well, I think, to be honest, I think they're back to release schedule now. It's more. I think it's more so a couple of quiet weeks because everybody's bought Dominion.
I'm just surprised after all the recent releases, they've got so many weeks between the sisters. Surprises me.
Yeah, Sisters players are used to this. The original release
Yeah.
back in whenever they came out last January, there was big gaps between their releases.
It's because, Dave, I've decided to do a Sisters Army.
Yeah.
Of course, that's why. I forgot about that.
That is the universal rule of things.
Yeah.
Gracie says a Stormcast first. I think probably the Vindictors. I've just painted my first Stormcast in preparation. Amazing. What Storm host are you doing? And Draymar, I've been really boring and just ordered the book plus General's Handbook. I'm tempted by getting Indrasta. Yeah, it's such a cool model. She's one of the favourite models that I painted out of the thing. In fact, I'll grab her now because she's just over here.
Her rules are mental as well.
She is fairly mental. Let me ease her out of here. So Indrasta, the Celestial Spear, is, let me reposition this camera a little bit, an absolutely gorgeous model. Again, these were all done pretty rapid fire. I don't know how long it took. It was all a bit of a blur that week, to be honest. Again, mostly base colours, contrast to add a bit of definition. The element that took the longest was the gold. I followed the heavy metal gold guide, where basically you build it up through a million different layers, and there's glazes and stuff in there. It's kind of a quasi non-metallic metal using metallics, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially putting browns in to shade and then going up through silvers. So yeah, I really enjoyed painting her. I've got a Dominion box coming myself, so I might paint another one as a kind of a fancier showpiece and use her as a play-in. We'll see.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a few things that I picked up since building this stuff. Heads and stuff, I'd see if I can paint them before I assemble them, because that just makes it a bit easier. I don't know if either of you guys ever do that.
Yeah, I've got where is she? The High Lord of Terror, who currently has no head.
Yeah. Like Horus. Horus is probably the longest time I've spent doing a face on a miniature, and if that wasn't separate, I wouldn't have been able to get nearly as much detail on him. Yeah, it's one of those. I don't, to be honest, I don't tend to put stuff like that in sub-assemblies unless it's like a really nice piece I want to do justice to.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely does help, because it's often hard to get a brush in there, isn't it? Especially if they're in like Space Marines, where the head's inside in the armor, and like the model that Jay just showed. It's you don't want to end up kind of going over the paint job you've just painted around it, because there's nothing more annoying than touching up models.
Nope. This guy's coming along quite nicely.
So what have you got there? Let's switch to your camera, Dave. What have we got on the go? It's a Kruleboy.
A killer boss.
A killer
with
boss.
flail.
I really like the green. Militarum green is your base for these, did you say, Dave?
Militarum green is my base, that's correct, yes.
Nice. Yeah, he's looking cool.
Feels all good, Dave.
Jay, how's yours getting on?
So the head is done and the hair is done. The inside of the cloak is done as well, with the darker, deeper sort of red, brownish red.
Nice.
And I'm now just working on the red cloak.
That's a really nice model, isn't it?
On the back, yeah, she's well cool. And then once that's done, then I will do the black armor. I decided to do the black armor last, so I could just because it's a bit hard to get some of the cloak, the
Yeah.
red. So I knew I'd get red on. It's pointless doing the black armor first, I think, on this, which is a bit strange, really, because normally I would do power armor first before I add all the other details. But sisters
Yeah.
have more bits on them than Blood Angels, I'm finding. So and Ultramarines.
Yeah, they've got quite a bit of detailed bits. Well, I'm basically just trying to get some base colours down on these guys. So skin down on him. We've got skin and silver down on this guy. Logic being to get as much of the he still needs doing. And then we've got the crab, and the fish. I don't know what their actual names are. But yeah, the way I paint, I try and get as much base colours down. Oh, we have got a new follower, Agent Meeple. Thank you very much for following us. How are you doing? You're having a good
Hello.
Sunday. What are you painting today? We've also got Fabius Fulgrim in the chat. Good morning from a lockdown Sydney. Yeah, I heard Sydney was back in lockdown. You know, at least you're not in as bad state as the UK is. We're supposedly out of lockdown at some point in the near future, but I wouldn't hold my breath.
We'll see what our new health secretary says. Sorry, we won't get what the politics on this show will start and end there.
Dave straight in. Oh, on that topic, have you seen the video?
I have seen the video.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
more from a point of view of could you keep your lunch down, Dave, after watching it?
Ah.
It's just yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Agent Meeple says, "Sorry, I thought I was following you. That's fine. It's you are following us now, so it is all good."
As penance, you have to watch the entire back catalogue.
That's it. And speaking of the back catalogue, whether you follow us on YouTube or on Twitch, the same library of videos, it should be available. Obviously, not our kind of pre-recorded stuff is over on YouTube. All our live stuff is broadcast to both sites. Yesterday, me and Jay had a game of Age of Sigmar 3rd edition, where the Ogre War Tribes took on the Lumineth Realm Lords. So that should be available to watch once you've watched this live. So if you are into such things, you can see that. Venerable Gamer 4, evening chaps. I'm painting Kagra's Ravagers this evening with you guys. Amazing. They're
Oh,
a
they
really
are the
cool
beasts.
warband as
They're
well.
the beastmen, aren't they?
No, that's the it's the Slaves to Darkness warband for
Oh,
Underworlds.
right, okay.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough. The Games Workshop have sent us the warbands this year to review, and I've been lucky enough to paint most of them. I think the only ones I've not done are the Uruks and the Bone Reapers. Because I know Dave collects Bone Reapers, so I was like, oh yeah, Dave, you have them.
Yeah, I really should have got it done.
So yeah, so they are on my list to pick up at some point. There's been a little bit of post disruption, so we got these after they've been released. So we haven't done like an unboxing video, so we thought we'd showcase them on here instead, painting them up. The Sisters of Battle book, I think you had in your hands the day it went up for pre-order, Jay, didn't you? But you managed to rattle a post out for that, didn't you?
Yeah, that was right. We got that a bit late, but that was man, that codex is so cool. Just getting into the Sisters of Battle, it was a really, really nice read, really well presented. So, I mean, the 9th edition codexes I find are just so good.
Yeah, they're really cool. Agent Meeple says all of it. I don't even like Warhammer. Wow, shocking. There's some painting stuff on here as well. We've painted the contents of Aliens: Another Day in the Core. Painted a few kind of indie models. We did
Did you
some.
paint Elder Scrolls on there?
No, I haven't painted Elder Scrolls on there, but I
Ah,
do want to pick up some more Elder Scrolls stuff. We might have some Elder Scrolls content on the way as well. Been in touch with Mediphius, who produced the game, so we may have a painting stream on them, and maybe a battle guys. I'm sure one of the two of you will go delving into a dungeon with me. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I tell you what, there's also what was on the stream, Matt, when you built that Evangelion.
Yeah. So yeah, we do have quite a bit of non-Warhammer stuff. Obviously, you know, the core focus of the website is on Warhammer. We have branched into other stuff. You know, at the end of the day, we do it as a bit of a hobby rather than a business. You know, we don't have a Patreon. We don't ask anyone for any money. If you want to order your stuff through Element Games through our affiliate link, ooh, who's that? Tony Hale has just subscribed as well. Thank you very much, Tony. Um, yeah, you know, we don't have a Patreon to ask for any money. Obviously, if you want to help support the site, over on the website, spruesandbrews.com, we have got links to our merchandise store, and we have an affiliate account set up with Element Games as well. So if you do order any toy soldiers, any board games, anything like that, if you do it through the affiliate link, we get a kickback, which helps basically helps run the site every year, doesn't it? Um, Anonymous Rex have been painting some terrain from Mortal Realms. Which terrain have you been painting? I think there was some of the Dominion of Sigmar in that range and some of the Warcry stuff, both of which are amazing scenery pieces. I've been really, really impressed with all of the scenery they've put out for Sigmar. There is some, and let's see if I can do this without destroying the desk. There is some more scenery coming out for Age of Sigmar. I've got a feeling we'll see a box with a card mat and a load of scenery. Let me see if I can find it in the rule book because it looks really, really nice. I'm sure I've shown you guys this stuff, haven't I?
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I know which ones you mean.
if we go, this might be difficult to get on the camera, but look at those statues. How cool do they look?
Yeah.
So this is the new scenery range, and it's all themed around. You know, the objective markers that they did are themed around the Dawnbringer Crusade. This is essentially they have prefab cities that they drop in through like airships and flying islands. So yeah, really really cool idea.
You've clearly seen how they make McDonald's drive-throughs and
Yeah,
thought we can do that with cities.
exactly in the same way as the McDonald's drive-through. The Dawnbringer Crusade will come along with their supporting Caradron fleet and drop in a city. And yeah, there's going to be scenery to represent that. So I'm really looking forward to picking that up because I love painting scenery. I think it's my favourite thing, painting scenery, to be honest. I actually like painting scenery more than painting models. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys enjoy painting scenery?
I've always said that I really want to paint a load of scenery, and I've never got round to it, Matt.
Never got around to it.
Never got
Oh, I need
round
to
to
paint
it.
some. I need to paint some. My favourite scenery set from Games Workshop has got to be the Zone Mortalis stuff. That was in the Dark Uprising box from Necromunda, and then later released separately. And then I was super lucky to paint up a what's it
Stronghold.
called? The Stronghold, the Gang Stronghold for Warhammer Community. They sent one for me to do a bit of a painting guide on, and I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to painting the new stuff. I'd like us to see some more 40k stuff, a bit more alien 40k stuff. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like imagine an Eldar ruin set or something. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
There's the Eldar Webway, and I think there was some alien ruins with vines and stuff over it.
Yeah.
That was it. But yeah, you're right. I'd love to see some Tau scenery myself. on the
We've got
Xenos front.
some Tau, haven't we? We've got like the walls and the that's actual.
That's an actual gaming
Yeah.
piece, isn't it? Yeah, but I know what you mean, Dave. Yeah, but I'd like to see more of that. We've got a lot of Imperial stuff now. We've got like Adeptus Titanic, Mechanicum sort of Imperial stuff, Hive World Imperial stuff, Gothic Ruins Imperial stuff. Yeah, you're right, Matt. It'd be cool to see some like Eldar, Dark Eldar, Tau sort of scenery, even some
Yeah.
Tyranid type stuff. You know, with all the
Tyranids would be really cool with like the furnace chimneys and stuff.
yeah.
Agent Meeple says, right, I'm going to watch a movie. Just wanted to drop in and say hi. Thank you for watching, Agent Meeple. I hope we see you again in the near future. Anonymous Rex says, the Dominion of Sigmar statues and the bridge set. Yeah, I ordered the big, I can't remember what it's called. I think there's a big box that came with like one of everything. And we've used it in a lot of our recent battle reports. You know, the Shattered Storm Vault and all the kind of statues and the scatter scenery. I forget how much I think it was about £80 the big box that came with one of everything, but it's well worth picking up because you get a nice variety of different pieces there. You don't have to use it all together. You can use it just as scatter terrain. Yeah, I really like doing that. But again, I'm a scenery nerd, so if you don't like painting scenery, then you probably don't want to pick up a big box containing the entire range. Grim Dan, evening chaps. Hope everyone is well and having a good hobby weekend. I am indeed having a good hobby weekend. I've had quite a productive weekend actually. So, like I say, I can't. Do you remember when I started these wolves and bats? Was it like Friday maybe? I haven't been working on them long. Couple of nights, rattled through them.
Yeah.
Started on the vampire and necromancer today. I might get them base coated at least after this stream. And then been painting these guys because I wanted to. Obviously, we've had these, not been able to do a proper review, so I wanted to feature them on the painting stream as well, just to show them off a little bit. And then played Warhammer with Jay yesterday. What about you guys for newcomers to the stream? What have you done hobby wise this weekend, or since the last podcast?
Go on, Dave. You first, dude.
I've just been kind of working away on the Kruleboyz, really. So I finished the Bolt Boys off the other night. I've obviously got the Killer Boss tonight. I did a little bit more finishing off the Gut Rippers. The only real unit I really need to really kind of press on with, which I keep leaving till last. My words will come out in a second. Are the Hobgrods. There's actually quite a bit of detail on them, more than I anticipated. There's a lot of like ropes and stuff coming off all like the armor. I should get them done in the next few days.
Dave, for the stuff like that, do you do that with the contrast, or do you go in with like a normal paintbrush and paint out those details with like base colours? What's your approach for details?
It depends really. On those, I'll probably be using contrast. I use contrast primarily. I don't really use that many citadel colours now, to be honest.
Okay.
I just think it goes with the way I paint.
Yeah.
I say that I have just this second used Sotek Green, so I do use a few normal Citadel paints. I just had to do my Celestial Vindicator on the base of this Killer Boss, so it saddened me.
Of course.
That's just how it went.
Yeah, no, it's good. You've really embraced the contrast stuff, haven't you, Dave?
I have. I love it. It's brilliant.
Right, you know what I've just realised? I've missed the hands off this guy. Oh, there are gauntlets on there. Let's do it metal. Do you hate it when you see a modelling like, is that his hand or is that his glove?
Yeah, that's the only negative in it of the recent Games Workshop models, is that they are that detailed that sometimes you spend a lot of time just looking at the model, like planning out what you need to paint.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of stuff like that you could probably paint it as either and get away with it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, painting these up. I'm tempted to get the Deepkin out again. I've got a Deepkin army. They definitely need to go on the path to glory, don't they?
They're really good as well.
Yeah, I love the Deepkin.
Did you start a Deepkin army, Jay?
I bought the Deepkin book because because they were the first elves, and like I'd just been waiting for the elf army to come out, and that was it at the time. So I did get them, but I never really did anything with them. I wasn't a massive fan of the eels, to be fair.
I love the eels.
Yeah, and I think most of the sort of lists at the time were just eels. So I didn't really bother. But I do love the Namarti units. I love the thralls. So I'd love to see more like infantry type models and stuff come out for them. I love the Eidolon as well. It's a nice model. But then of course the Lumineth, they're like my favourite army. So they're the elves that I wanted really. So I'm quite happy with the Lumineth. I've always liked that Mistweaver Say or Psyche, whatever her name is, from
Mistweaver Saith from Silver Tower.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd love an army of those things, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, well, don't forget in that same box we saw the what were they called? The Goblin Scuttlers.
Yeah.
and they never materialised either. So
No, they
yeah,
didn't.
hopefully we see your shadow elves, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
Because obviously we know Malarian's back now. While there's been a few hints of Malarian, I think that'd probably be the next story arc, maybe after Ger, just because we know
Yes.
we now know that each year the General's Handbook's going to focus on a particular campaign following the threads of the storyline, and this year is Ger. So it's very much about the Kruleboyz. It's going to be about Kragnos getting up to stuff. We might see other factions then that tie in with that. We mentioned Beastmen earlier. That ties in quite well. If in the book it kind of says that they don't really worship chaos. You know, while they are children of chaos, they don't worship the gods apart from the Zangors and the Slangors and the Pestigors. They are beastmen who've fallen in with the chaos gods. The other ones are just a kind of destructive force of nature, aren't they?
Hmm.
So that fits in quite nicely with the kind of Ger arc if the beastmen are on the prowl again. Um, the Kernothi arguably could fit in with that.
Yeah, I know the Kenofi we saw in Underworld, I think, are from Ger, and I think there's some
Mhm.
lore for the Kenofi where they sort of take on traits of the realm that they're from.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, the Kenofi is another army that I'm really looking forward to seeing them expand.
and we know that Athelaron's roots have gone as far as Ger after Elariel's little experiment, because it
Yeah,
is her spell that shattered the mountain that Kragnos was imprisoned in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, like you say, that'd be nice as a more Ger-styled Sylvaneth, for want of a better word. Because I still reckon they'd be part of a Sylvaneth book rather than their own standalone book. And if with the Kruleboyz being part of the Uruk War clans as well, I think that's a good thing that they seem to have, rather than splinter everything out to a million sub factions, do it as a book with the grander kind of force, but then have ways of building a list, drilling down into specialist forces if you want. I think that gives you a lot more variety in your models in your army then, and it means you don't have to bring out an army with 6 units because you've got all the Sylvaneth units, for example, in there.
yeah.
And if the rumours are true about dwarfs as well, they could be taking a similar
Well,
pathway.
so yeah, I don't know. The only thing with them is if you combined the Fire Slayers and the Caradron Overlords, you've got loads of units.
And lots of different allegiance abilities and playstyles as well.
Yeah, so I'm still not entirely convinced that they'd be all in one book.
I'd like to see them allies, definitely, and maybe some big war type mechanic for
Yeah,
an allied dwarf list.
I think we'd be
But I
more
would like
likely to see Fire Slayers and Dispossess, maybe.
possibly, yeah. The Fire Slayers have a small range. I mean, I just want to see new dispossessed models. A Grungni model. Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's whether he'd be part of the Dwarf range or part of the Stormcast range.
He's going to be part of the dwarf range, surely.
He's created the
Stormcast.
Stormcast.
Stormcast have enough heroes.
He's literally on their banner.
Techless created the Idoneth, but you know,
Yeah, they're not really on talking terms, though, are they?
no, not anymore.
Bit awkward that one when they have family reunions. So yeah, no, there's lots of exciting stuff that could come. I mean, there's mention of Chaos Dwarfs, literally on the
Yes.
War Scroll card for the Hobgrots.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm excited for. Because let's face it, I'm gonna start them, aren't I? If they came out,
Absolutely.
no question about it whatsoever. Right, so what have we got? We've got lots of blue on these. All the cloth and stuff's blue. So let's go for a dark blue. Pure blue, pure warm blue. Let's go start with a warm blue and then we can bring it down. So yeah, I've really enjoyed doing these Underworlds warbands. We haven't managed to play any Underworlds, have we, this year?
No. One of those years.
Yeah, it's certainly been one of those years. I know you were saying, Dave, that you felt it was a bit, I don't know, a lot more complex than previous warbands had been, or the ones that
Yeah,
you've seen.
I've done a couple of reviews now of war bands, and I think a large part of it is because we just haven't played a game for so long. You know, there just seems to be a lot of like extra rules now, extra kind of gameplay abilities. I don't know if I preferred it when it was a lot more straightforward, but again, it could just be the fact that we've not played, and if we actually had a game, it would all make sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, like the primacy token and stuff. You know, is that needed? Is that not just bloating the game a little bit? I don't know.
I guess the thing with that is that there's been many seasons of it, so you've got to keep it fresh, haven't you?
You have, you have. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that you have to keep changing things and
You know, you could argue that heroic abilities and monstrous rampages are making the game more complex for AOS, but they're really cool
yeah,
additions to the game that make a big difference and make it worthwhile having a new edition. And since you know the core games get an edition every 3 or 4 years, Underworlds gets a new edition every year.
yeah. So you've got to, yeah. Yeah, no, you're
So
right.
what does? Well, I might not be right. That's just my opinion. What does everyone in the chat think? Has Underworlds got a bit complicated compared to how it was when it first came out? The core rules are slightly different. There's been no massive changes, but there's been a lot more supplemental stuff added. Like with the vampires, you've got this whole mechanic where they inspire and uninspire depending on whether they're hungry or not, which is more
Mm.
bookkeeping and arguably.
There's a lot more of that, like the desecration with the Ravagers. Um, I thought the Bone Type one for the Bone Reapers was better and easier to manage, but yeah, you've got lots of different things like that.
Yeah. But no, the models are outstanding really this edition, aren't they?
Oh yeah, the best models so far.
Yeah, I do like the models.
Yeah, it's been nice to paint them up. I will have to pick up the couple of boxes I haven't got and complete the set because yeah, got to catch them all. What's been your favourite of the warbands, Dave?
I really like the Bone Reapers one. Actually, I think we've mentioned them all. The Bone Reapers and Ravagers, I think, were my favourites. I really liked the Auric one with the Brutes. That was really cool. I haven't got that one actually. And the Seraphon were nice as well. I think I'm pretty much just listing all of them at this point. But
Yeah.
I think the Bone Reapers and the Ravagers were my favourites.
No vote for the crab.
I do like the Crab Mat,
I mean,
but as a whole,
look at him. He's a glorious little crab.
he doesn't save the rest of the war. It's a nice warband, but it's not one of my favourites.
I mean, I guess I kind of agree. The my Idoneth army is all aquatic based. I've got no infantry units. I've got eels. Not from a they're really good in the game point of view. It's from a eels are cool, sharks are cool, big turtles are cool. Swim through all the aquatic stuff. So like these guys that I'm painting now, yeah, you can take them or leave them. But crab and a fish, that immediately wins them over for me. So
you painted your sharks before they got good as well.
I did, yeah. Well, I say I went for all the aquatic stuff because I like the models, not because eels were good. And because I took like sharks and turtles and stuff, I had far less eels than good players would have. But I had a shark and a turtle, so it was a moral victory, I think. And that's a good point for everyone in the chat as well. Would you buy a model that you don't like because it has good rules, and would you buy a model that has good rule? The other way around. So would you paint a model that you love the model, but in game it's not very good. Have either of you, picked up a model that's terrible rule wise, but you absolutely love the model and how to paint it and have it in your army just because it looked cool?
I spent 3 weeks painting a L'Oreal, Matt.
Alariel's not bad though, is she? I'm
She's not
talking
bad
like
now.
I'm talking like
back then she wasn't that great.
yeah, I'm talking like Slangors. Slangors are a beautiful model, but arguably one of the most expensive and not great units in the game. I was very upset about these, and I probably will get paint them at some point, but they're certainly not competitive by any stretch. I was trying to think of some examples of models that are terrible that I've painted just because I like the model though.
I'm trying to think. There's probably one or two, but nothing is springing to mind right now. I really want to paint some of the regimental advisors for the Astra Militarum, and I think some of those aren't great.
Yeah, for me, painting the models kind of a primary reason for buying it. If it's good in the game, that's a bonus. If the model was terrible and it had good rules, we come back to the Seraphon. I'd probably pass because I don't like the model. Would you guys agree on that? If you didn't like the model, you probably wouldn't have it in your army because you didn't want to paint it.
I think it would depend. Like if you had like a strategy for your army and there was a model that absolutely perfectly fit that kind of, and there was just one model that you just didn't like, you might just bite the bullet and just get him because it would just make the army work. I'm trying to think of an example. Maybe like, I don't know. So I've never really been super competitive, but I'm pretty sure I've written lists before where they've kind of had like a synergy, but they've all relied on a model that I'm not a massive fan of.
Okay. Yeah. Vulnerable Gamer 4 says, model comes first for me. I spend more time painting than playing. Anonymous Rex, for me, it's all army for my army's theme. Yeah, I don't think I've ever bought a model I don't like. Trying to think. I bought a lot of models over the years, just trying to glance around. Yeah, I think if I didn't like the model, I wouldn't buy it regardless of rules. How about you, Jay? Have you ever bought a model that you don't like, but the rules are good?
No, I've never bought a model I don't like.
And we mentioned earlier to the point where it'd stop you doing the army if you didn't like the models.
Oh, well, that's it. If I don't like the models, I don't do the army.
Which, in fact, yeah, I've got an example. Necron. So I liked the idea of Necrons. I liked the theme of Necrons, but I really didn't like the previous incarnation of the Necron warriors because I thought they were horrendous. Until, of course, the new ones came out in Indomitus, and then I was like, oh yeah, all on board the Necron hype train. But yeah, the fact that we didn't have nice Necron warriors stopped me from collecting the Necron army for a very long time.
You did buy a Nightbringer though.
I like the
Got good.
Nightbringer. I like the Nightbringer. Though. The Nightbringer's not a model I don't like though. That's the difference. If I didn't like the Nightbringer model, I'd do what everyone and their dog's done online and buy a proxy for it.
I think the proxy talk about the Nightbringer got that bad that I saw a post on one of the popular Necron groups banning proxy Nightbringer posts because it was just rife.
It had become a thing, hadn't it?
Yeah.
I see now everyone's saying a Dark Elder Archon. There's a lot of proxying for Archons.
Is there? Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Dark Elder Archon, to be honest, the model.
The old metal one was mint.
Yeah, the old metal was amazing. The current one, I'm not really feeling him.
No. He's okay, but no, he's not.
He's just a weird pose.
Yeah, he's very
doing
flat, isn't he?
He's doing like a Zoolander kind of model pose, isn't he?
Maybe that's what he's going for.
Possibly.
The most stylish space pirate in the galaxy.
Sounds like an anime I've seen.
I
done
love
an impression
highlighting
from-
red.
You love what? Sorry,
Highlighting red.
highlighting red.
It must be the Blood Angel in me, but I just love highlighting red.
What's
Such a
your
nice colour to paint.
what's your go-to red highlight? In fact, yeah, talk us through your process for red. What do you start with? What do you highlight with? What do you wash with?
So I start with Mephiston red base, a couple of layers of thin down Mephiston. And then on my Blood Angels, I've done a bit different on this one, but I'll explain why. But on my Blood Angels, I'll then wash with Agrax into the recesses, Agrax Earthshade. And then I will get the Mephiston red back out again and tidy up. And then I will do Wild Rider red edge highlight, which is like it's almost an orange color. Wild Rider red is. It's nice,
Yeah.
nice red. And then I go to Fire Bright. Is it Fire Bright? Yeah, Fire Dragon Bright as my final highlight. And then on the character models, I go one step further with some Ungor Flesh
Oh,
right on the
nice.
very corners. And then I have in the past used a glaze then of Bloodletter over the top. But sometimes it depends. On the recent Blood Angels I've not done the final glaze. I've just left it, but it might be because as you practice, your edge highlights get a bit neater and neater and neater. So I don't need the glaze as much as I used to.
Yeah.
But the glaze is good to just tie it all together if your edge highlights aren't as neat as you'd like them to be. For this, the red cloak on this Sister of Battle, I've used Caro Burr Crimson instead of Agrax Earthshade. Because I wanted the red of the back of the cloak to sort of match a little bit the red I've used on the inside, which the inside red is Corn red, Wazdaka red, and then the Cajun Flesh Tone as an edge highlight. So the Carrying Bag Crimson is quite close to those colours, so it sort of ties them together.
No, I like that. Yeah, interesting with the skin colours for the final highlight because you get the orange in the Wild Rider then, don't you? Yeah, that's cool. So I mean, I mentioned earlier I've been using contrast over other colours. It works really well as a glaze. Just ties together if you're doing something like dry brushing and stuff, you can bring everything down again to a smoother kind of coat by whacking a bit of contrast over it, and then by the fact that it kind of separates and pulls to the edges, you get a nice transition.
Yeah, with the Water Plus, you use that.
So I mean, yeah. So Water Plus will thin it down. Normally, for most paints, I'll use a drop of Water Plus to just thin it instead of water. For contrast out of the pot, it depends. Depends on the colour. It's a little bit of trial and error. Some of them, you do need some Water Plus or contrast medium to thin it out properly. But others, some of them work out the pot. What's it called? Dryad bark, wildwood. Wildwood is my go-to wood colour. Dryad bark, then go over that with wildwood. Done. Best wood ever.
I use a lot of wildwood on my Lumineth L's, believe it or not. I use wildwood with technical contrast medium for the robes, the beige robes, and then also I use it to shade my gold.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I used to use watered down dryad bark to do all that, but since I've discovered wildwood, I use that now.
So that's the same logic as the guide I was following for the Stormcast, where you want a brown to act as a kind of like shade colour. But yeah, I didn't even think of using wildwood for it. That makes it a little bit easier actually.
Yeah, well, I was using dried bark previous to that, and the wildwood. I think for the gold, I do 4-to-1 contrast medium to wildwood for the gold, and 8-to-1 contrast medium wildwood for the robes.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
And I also use it to shade the white armor as well.
Shade white with the brown. Interesting.
Yeah, it gives it an almost like enamel type effect, I find, for the white armor, which is perfect for the Lumineth.
Yeah, well, that's similar to how I do my white scars. Spray in black, because of course I'm going to paint white models black first, and then build up browns, and then go from the browns into the white, leaving the brown in the recesses.
Yeah,
and then it acts as a kind of a softer shadow, then, doesn't it?
it does. Yeah, I love brown into recess of white armor. My Tau, which I didn't paint, although I have painted some Tau in a similar color scheme. The Titan, the battle suit, the big Titan thing. I did paint that one, and that was brown washing. It was Agrax Earthshade actually. Finned Agrax Earthshade into all of the panel lines and things like that. It sort of gives it the shading, like you say, it makes it white look a bit more natural and softer, but it also almost like a little bit of battle damage, a bit of wear and tear, which is awesome for units like White Scars and.
Yeah, well, GW done something similar with the studio, what they call Beast Snaggers, where they've got lots of brown chipping and stuff on them, and I'm going to probably replicate that for mine when I do them.
Yeah, definitely. I love that Beast Snagger colour scheme.
I spent a lot of time umming and ahhing about whether I'd do them, because I've got a big, you might be able to see him just in the corner of the screen. I've got a big Evil Sons army, but I kind of think that the Beast Snaggers would be more what are they called, snake bites.
Yeah.
So I think they'd look better in that scheme, and an orc force with a mixture of stuff doesn't look too strange if there's an inconsistent kind of colour scheme to them. So obviously for for rules for the clan, I'd use them as the clan they're painted at. I'm not too fussy about min-maxing the clans to get the best benefits. I'm just like, yep, they're painted red, they can have red model rules. They're painted white, they can have white model rules. I know some people, quite a lot of armies, they take multiple detachments with different sub-factions, and I've never been really one to do that.
I would never do that, I don't think. Like you say, mainly for bookkeeping. I have, however, been tempted to run, say, for example, my Celestial Vindicators as a different storm host, but that's across like my whole army. Like
it's more so the people who will take multiple detachments and then not paint them differently. It's a bit, in my books, a bit.
Yeah.
I think if you want to do that, you paint them separately, because then if your opponent has got a distinction in which force is which, then.
I'll tell you what I have been tempted by, and you guys might sway me on this, is I've obviously got, I've got a growing Deathwatch army, and I like to use the actual Deathwatch shoulder pads. We've obviously got the new magazine series coming in. I've got a few other Marines that are like easy build kits that I just can't be bothered to trim the shoulder pads off. So I was like, maybe I'll do them as a different Space Marine chapter. And I was flicking through the latest White Dwarf, which comes with some transfers for the Tomb Keepers, the sort of White Dwarf Space Marine army. Tome Keepers, yeah. And I'm very tempted to do those as a bit of a side Space Marine project with.
Yeah, I've got my White Dwarf. I haven't actually opened it yet. What colour are they, Dave?
They're like a bone colour, Matt.
Oh, bone colour. And then what's their icon? A book, I guess, if it's Tome Keepers.
It's like a book, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can have my spare transfer sheet if you're doing them, Dave.
Yeah, I might
here, Dave.
take you up on that. I just think because then it's like what you just said about you kind of tying yourself into one rule. There's a lot of different Space Marine chapters, and I think it would be cool to have, to kind of change it and like, well, I'm going to play these as successors to the Imperial Fist this week, or I mean, I think they use the build your own chapter rules for the Tome Keepers.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, Mawson Joe's just said in the chat, it's fun to try different allegiance chapter abilities just for a change. No need to repeat. And yeah, absolutely agree with that. I'm more so talking about people who have half a dozen different allegiances within their army, but they'll all be painted the same way. I just find that makes it hard to keep tabs on what's meant to be what. Yeah. No issue. I've no issues with people having a red Space Marine army and wanting to use them as a blue Space Marine army, as long as I know which Space Marine army they're representing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and especially we'd have no issues with that in friendly games. Understanding some tournaments, like GW tournaments, for example, your red Space Marines will probably have to represent red Space Marines because that's their rule. So yeah, but obviously in casual games, there's no issues, is there? There's been a bit of grumbling online, hasn't there, recently about some Warhammer World rules restricting the use of 3D printed parts. Now this is third-party 3D printed parts. You are still allowed to design and print your own.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same way you'd be able to convert up a model yourself. I think this is really just to stop people buying, say 3D printed weapons and stuff. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's the right thing to do, restrict them or not?
I think as annoying as it might be for some people that have spent a lot on like buying other companies' models, if you're attending a Games Workshop,
Yeah, exactly.
a Games
Yeah.
Workshop event, and it's to showcase their miniatures, I think that's absolutely fair enough. I
Yeah.
know that not a lot of people are gonna be happy with that, but my personal feeling is that that was a nothing argument. It was like, I don't even know what the fuss is about.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I know people say like, oh well, yeah, but Games Workshop send you stuff. We've disagreed with some of the things that they've done in the past. It's not blind faith, but I think when they're like you say, it's showcasing the game when it's in Warhammer World, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If a kid in their family walks past and goes, oh wow, they're really cool, they can buy it from the shop there, can't they? It is
Yeah.
part of the marketing, so you've got to bear that in mind. It is a business at the end of the day as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mawson Joe says he does that with his sisters, tries out multiple orders and minor orders. Well, are you going what are they called, Jay?
Order of Our
Martyred
Martyred
Lady.
Lady. Yeah, that's who I'm going for.
Classic
Uh,
black and red.
That's it. I just love the colour scheme. I think some of the close combat oriented orders are probably the strongest in the book at the moment, with all the new close combat sort of sisters that they've got. But not to say they look serviceable. I think I'm gonna have some good games with them. But yeah, if I'm painting them up as orders of Martyred Lady, they're going to be playing as orders of Martyred Lady.
Yeah, I mean we're
But I don't have a problem with people using, like say, Ultramarines as Blood Angels if they want to. At the end of the day, you spend a lot of time painting your army. In Games Workshop, change the rules a lot, and you may have painted them as Blood Angels because you enjoyed the play style, and then all of a sudden that play style isn't. You can't do that anymore. They've changed the rules, so it's not a practical play style anymore. And another chapter gives you the play style you want to use. Your models, as long as they look nice on the tabletop.
It's an expensive hobby, isn't it? So
Exactly, yeah.
The
And like you say, you need to mix up a bit.
the Inquisition are going to come round your house and burn your models because you play your red Marines as yellow Marines, are they?
No.
well, I don't know about that, Matt, but
Yeah. So
that's an Eisenhorn knocking on your front door.
speaking of which, I guess you're going to have a quite heavy Inquisition element on your Guard Army, Dave.
Absolutely. So I'll be using from the word get go. I'm going to create my own Inquisitor. As much as I'd want to use Eisenhorn, I want to create an Inquisitor which is going to grow with the campaign along with the Astra Militarum. So I've got an Inquisitor with sort of plasma pistol and stuff ready to go. So yeah, I'll be definitely using him.
Sherlock Obi-Wan Clouseau.
Exactly.
So, if those who don't know, I might have this to hand. So I've got all the props to hand today. Back in Rogue Trader, there was I'm sure he was an Inquisitor by the name of Sherlock Obi-Wan Clouseau. Definitely not ripping off a number of different people there. Oh, he could be anywhere in this book. If you've never read Rogue Trader, there's some wacky stuff in here. I mean, there's horses, there's terror squirrels. I mean, look at that. That's terrifying, isn't it? Rippy fish, Codex Rippy fish we need. Some crazy stuff in here. Yeah. Giant insectoids.
Oh, what were those things from the Horus Heresy?
Oh, the Psi creature thingies, yeah.
Mega arachnids.
Oh, mega arachnids, yeah, they were cool.
That's what I want. I want an army of mega arachnids.
Yeah, I forgot how much random. So what's better than a dog? A ghost dog, an astral hound.
Astral. What is an astral?
Terrifying looking thing. They're dogs that travel through the warp.
Almost as terrifying as warp missiles.
Exactly, yeah. Obviously, we've got skinks because skinks are a thing in 40k.
Well, the slam were, weren't they? The old
Yeah,
ones.
I'd love to. I mean, look at that. Doesn't that just make you want to start an empire army by the look of things? He's got a pet lizard. He's taking his lizard for a walk, and there's a squat. Yeah, so many wacky. I can't find our inquisitor friend, but there's so much wacky stuff in here. We should do. You know what? We should do a show on that, shouldn't we? Where we go through Rogue Trader and have a look at some of the. A lot of it has become like lore and evolved over the years.
They might touch on some of that in Warhammer Plus. Wade.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good shout. What we haven't had a proper chat about Warhammer Plus, have we? I think it's probably going to be the topic of the podcast tomorrow, isn't it? But
Yeah.
for live thoughts, what's everyone's thoughts on Warhammer Plus at the minute?
So I'll do the bad stuff first, okay? I think they're going to drag out the episodes of things. By the sounds of it, I think we're going to be waiting. There might be one or two shows initially, then a couple of months later there might be another show. I think they haven't got much animation content, and I think it's going to be over the year we'll see it rather than like on Netflix. You subscribe, you get access to everything.
Mhm.
That's the only bad thing. And, you just have to wait. So it's not even that much of a bad thing, really. It's going to come. It's just not going to come as fast as I probably wanted it to come.
Yeah.
But that's it. The rest of it is brilliant.
You know what? If there was talks of getting a partner to do it, and obviously that didn't work out, did it? If it had been on Netflix or of the ilk, I think it still would have been dripped that way, because otherwise we're waiting for a year for them to create all the content, wouldn't we? I don't think any of
Yeah.
us were expecting the kind of filmed content, were we? So painting videos is something that really Duncan did, but the focus has been more on battle ready and getting things out quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah.
On the YouTube videos. So having Louise Sugden, who's a phenomenal painter, doing these are probably going to be like hour-long proper deep dive videos into advanced techniques. That's really cool, because a lot of that is available on YouTube, but it's nice to have kind of the official heavy metal schemes and stuff being done on there.
Yeah.
The battle reports are interesting as well, and there's been a bit of grumbling on that as well. We are creators, for want of a better word. We do videos and stuff, but you can't match a professional studio with the heavy metal painted models with a multi-camera setup doing really professional looking battle reports as part of a subscription. That's what, £50 a year.
Yeah, well, that's it. This was when you total up what you're getting for that £50 a year. So you're getting the back catalogue of White Dwarfs and all the archive stuff which they're adding to. You're getting the model, which is probably a £30 model on its own anyway, £25, £30 model. You're getting access to all of the shows that they're releasing over the course of the year. You're getting access to the battle reports. You're getting access to the masterclass painting tutorials. You're getting access to just those other kinds of, like the ways doing the sort of deep dive into background and lore and things like that. So I think once you total it all, and of course the apps, the 40k subscription app and the new Age Sigmar app they announced, that it pays for itself. You've paid for the subscription itself. £50 is what you would be spending across all of that anyway. So I can't VIP access at events. I can't see a reason not to subscribe to it myself. I mean, if you're paying £5 a month for White Dwarf, I'd be tempted if you could cancel that and just have this instead.
Well, worth saying, at launch you get all the 2020 White Dwarfs at launch, plus some other books. Now they said that every Wednesday or most Wednesdays. A bit vague on the timing. Certainly with the shows, I don't think it's every Wednesday.
They said there'd be new stuff every Wednesday, but that might not necessarily be like shows or anything like that.
The only thing they definitively said you would get a new episode every week was the still painting videos from Louise. I think that was the only thing they put a definitive on. I'd probably, with that in mind, I'd probably say we'll probably get a new battle report for each of the systems every week.
I don't know. I'm not banking on getting a new one every week personally. Just from experience of how long it takes to produce that, if you've got a multi-camera setup and stuff, as long as all the other stuff, I don't think it'll be a new battle report every week. I might
The,
be
the
wrong.
battle reports as well. They said were going to be not your average battle reports. I mean, he said, "What do you want to do?" And the first thing he said was Siege of Terror.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting to see some amazing battle
And
reports.
that's
Like
it. You've got
stuff.
fancy tables. You've got multi-camera setups. You've got gorgeous painted armies. That they've got the advantage there over the stuff that we do, or the stuff that bigger YouTube channels do. In that they can do those ridiculous things that just wouldn't be feasible to do on another channel.
They've got the choice of models. They've got, yeah.
They can get the studio to make some
I,
scenery for a Siege
I
of
don't.
Terror battle.
I don't think anybody's going to sign up to Warhammer Plus purely for the battle reports, but it's a nice extra. Like if you want regular battle reports, you've got your likes of mini wargaming and tabletop tactics for those. But as an added bonus, getting these like cool battle reports as part of your subscription, that's an extra thing.
Yeah.
And
Morton during the chat says, I disagree with about the battle reports, Matt. All the cameras and equipment is nothing compared to personality. My favourite battle report creator is Say Hi Paul, just because of his personality. Now that is a big part of it, isn't it? For watching it, you could have the most elaborate setup, but have boring presenters. So I guess that side of it, we'll just have to see what they're like when they come out, aren't we?
Yeah, see what I mean. He seems like a nice guy. I think he's brand new to the company, unless he's worked at another part of the business.
No idea. Personally, I'm sure we'll find out more as we start seeing content come out. Steve Harbour says, how much stuff will be filmed already? A couple of months ago, there was a job advert for painters for it and presenters. So I imagine they've probably got a couple of weeks in the bag at least.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's an exciting time for the hobby, and also we'll talk about this more on the podcast tomorrow. But I'm certainly excited to check it out. And I honestly don't know which miniature to get. I mean, they said that if you want both of them, subscribers will be able to purchase the one that they don't get as part of their sub.
I've decided on mine.
Have
I'm
you?
definitely, yeah. See, you think for me it would be the hardest kind of decision because I've got loads of assassins and well, not loads, but I like the assassins, and obviously I've got a love for Oryx. I'm actually going to go for the Vinegar Assassin off the bat with, but I will definitely be picking up the Oryx as well.
Yeah.
I just think that like base for that assassin is just
it is
incredible.
nice.
It is very good. Fabius Fulgham says, I don't think the back reports will be that good as I have to be so sanitized and corporate. Not necessarily. We've had some really fun stuff on the Twitch battles, haven't we? Where they've had, losers such as us come on. Now I don't think they'll have any. I don't think they'll have any community stuff on those pre-filmed ones because, how long does it take us to do a single camera battle report? It's a whole day affair. They're not going to have community members come in for that. But that's not to say when the world comes back to normal that they don't still have that as Warhammer Live. I'd like to
I
think they
hope
still
so.
continue that.
Yeah, I really hope so.
I don't think these battle reports are going to be your run-in-the-mill battle reports. I think we're going to see. They were sort of hinting at reenactment Armageddon, Siege of Terror, the
Big
Siege of the
showpiece
Varangard,
ones.
Varanspire, things like that. Yeah, the Battle of Pelennor Fields.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to be like your regular match play battle reports that we see all over YouTube. These are going to be,
taking advantage of the fact that they've got access to everything.
Exactly. It's going to be all of those cool stories you read in the Black Library books. The Tyranids and Necrons and Blood Angels teaming up against the Tyranids on Baal and not Baal, wherever they team. It's going to be stuff like that, I think.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Which is going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, I'm positive the Vault's going to be really good. The big question is, and we've touched on it, isn't it? How often they update it. How long we're waiting for these series to be complete. Episodes, they said about 15, 20 minutes, didn't they? So not super long episodes. But if they can keep them coming out at a decent rate, the painting video is really, really handy. I think if the Vault stuff, they can keep adding stuff each week as well. That'd be worth it alone, be able to read some old battle tomes and supplements and White Dwarfs and stuff.
Some of the old White Dwarfs were amazing.
I've got bookcases full of White Dwarf magazines that if I can get them digitally, I can throw them out.
Yeah, I had hundreds. I had most of the White Dwarfs going right the way back. I have got about 6 boxes that I moved with me to this house. but I've run out of room. I had to throw them all out. I did use them. I used to go back to them every now and then. When you're looking at old art battle reports,
Yeah.
when armies were first announced for, like when the first Necrons came out and things like that, you could go back to the White Dwarf find. But there was just so many of them. To have them all digital, and it's not going to be all of them initially, but it sounded like they were going to be adding to that. So you're going to get a whole 20s worth. But then remember the first Tale of Painters ones, Tale of Warlords, where it was Tale of Gamers.
That'd be really cool to
Those
go back to and not have to hunt them down in your own collection as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've got high hopes for it, and it's soon, isn't it? Was it August?
I think so, yeah.
I did scribble it down in my other notebook somewhere. Yeah, not long to wait. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, guys, can you believe it? We're nearly at 9 o'clock already. We've rattled through tonight. So should we have a little roundup of what we've painted? Who wants to start? Do you want to
Jay, do
jump
you
on
wanna-
first, Jay? Let me
Yeah,
switch
sure,
over
yeah.
to you.
Okay. Have I got it in the right place?
You have indeed got it in the right place. She's looking really good, Jay.
Yeah, so I've got my paintbrush. Let me turn my paintbrush on. There we go. I can talk properly now. So I've not made a start yet on the black armor. So the head and face is done. I think I need to have another look in the decent daylight tomorrow to make sure I've not missed anything. The leather gloves and like the little corset thing she's wearing is painted, shaded, and highlighted. The red undercloak is done. The red top cloak, I'm currently working on the second edge highlight now, the fire bright orange. I'm going to sit down and finish the red cloak on this tonight, I think, and then that'll do for today. And then she's then, I think, ready to start on the black armor. So for the black armor, I've got my paints here. It's going to be a bad and black base, dark reaper highlight, and then a thunderhawk blue edge highlight, and then an ulfman grey, just a tiny dots on the corners. And then that's the majority of it done. Then it's just the little trinkets and things she's got. Oh, and a sword as well in her scabbard there. She's awesome, such a cool model. So this is Saint Agatha Thirsk, Saint Potentia of the Order of Our Martyred Lady.
Amazing. What
Coming
we
to a
thinking?
battlefield near you.
What are we thinking? 50 power initial force and slow build like
Yeah.
we're doing with Sigmar.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so.
Cool. I'm gonna have to get some Chaos Space Marines out, aren't I? Dave, let's see what you have been working on.
Okay, so I've been working on my killer boss on foot. Oh, too high about there.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
So really happy that the Stormcast is fairly early in being done, but he's almost there really. Again, like Jay, I need to check in a slightly better light, but really happy with how he's turned out. He
Amazing.
sadly does not have a name, so we shall call him Bob for now until he has a suitably awesome Wari name.
And so your big wire will be facing an army of some description on Saturday on the stream then, Dave?
Yeah, so could be Blades of Khorne, Matt. Could be Soul Blight Gravelords.
It could be. If I can get the Soul Blight Gravelords, like I say, I've got 2 models to do. I've got a week to do them, so I should be able to rattle through them. This is assuming I don't get distracted by, these guys or Kragnos or something. So, yeah. So, yeah, stay tuned to that, and that'll be here on Twitch and YouTube next Saturday. Especially what I've been painting on, haven't I? So, let me move these out of the way. Really, we've just got initial base colours down on everything, ready for some washes. So, we've got the fish. And that is the pure orange from Instar. It's a really nice orange colour, isn't it? I'm thinking like Troll Slayers here.
Oh
Jay.
man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really good.
So that's the unmix that's just straight out of the bottle. Pure orange from
nice.
Instar. The Krabnos. Again, that is the pure red, I believe. And I've not really used kind of the base colours out of the pot too much because we've been trying to show off mixing colours, but the base colours are really nice on these. And then we've got the warband. For the silver, I've used GW Grey Knight Steel, just because it matches the rest of my my Idoneth army. Then it's got a nice kind of metallic blue sheen to it. I'll probably wash down with a bluey colour, and then highlight with maybe Runefang Steel or something, just to get those sharp highlights on. But I've really got the initial base colours down on these, so once they're dry, get some washes on them and I can start working on the detail, and should be a pretty quick way of working through the warband. So yeah, pretty happy with them. So chaps, what have we got on for the rest of the week? Obviously, we've got the podcast recording tomorrow. That should be out in your ears on Tuesday. I think we're going to try and do. I might do a cheeky midweek stream. If any of you guys are free and want to join in, by all means, join me. But yeah, I want to try and get these finished in the week. And then, yeah, at the weekend, we'll be doing another battle report. If you are interested in such things, we have got 2 Path to Glory battles up on Twitch and YouTube. So yeah, go check those out. And then on Saturday, Dominion is out, isn't it? So we'll all be eagerly ripping the wrapping off them and cracking into some awesome models. So yeah, thank you all very much for joining us on the stream today. If you've enjoyed it, why not give us a follow or subscribe on YouTube and get notified for when we go live next time. But yeah, it's been a fun night, guys. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done the painted stream, hasn't it?
Yeah, I missed it. Been really good.
So yeah, so hope you've enjoyed it. We will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.